Welcome back in, guys, to the March into March. We're sticking with that name, the March into March. If you missed yesterday's videos, check them out. We did the Big 12, we did the ACC. Now we're going to go to the Big East. I'm impartial to the Big East. I absolutely love Big East basketball. I love the old Big East, obviously, like Syracuse, Louisville, all that. But there's just something else about it. It's like the SEC for football, where it just like means a little bit more. No pun intended with their slogan, but it does. It means a little bit more. You know, these small Catholic schools. I've always said if I didn't go to an SEC football school, I would want to go to a Big East basketball school. That like I just love the conference. There's something magical about it. This is kind of what they do. Um, we got a clear favorite here. Obviously, it's the boys in stores. It's the team that we both picked to win the title last year. They did win the title.
Let's go.
It's UConn. But as you can tell with this tournament, it's never truly set in stone. Like was it Georgetown two years ago? I think whenever they were, I think they were under 500, won the Big East tournament and went to the dance. So anything can
Saved
happen.
Patrick Ewing's job.
Yeah, for another year.
For at least another year. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, there's some contenders here. I have a couple that I think of off the top of my head. You had a very interesting pick that I saw, so I want you to go ahead and talk about them. It's PC.
Yeah, so obviously we don't want to bet the UConn side of the bracket. UConn is that good, could repeat again. I want to stay away from the top half of the bracket. So take a look at the bottom half of the bracket. 2-seed Creighton, 3-seed Marquette. These are teams that I think a lot of people are going to want to bet. Marquette, the whole thing is with Kolek. Tyler Kolek is awesome. And he's key to their whole tournament run. He's hurt right now. It's probably looking like he's not going to play, which I think is smart. Just rest him for the tournament. You're already in. You already got a high seed, all this stuff. So Marquette I can't consider Marquette at that point if Kolek's not going to play. The 6-11 game, the winner would play Marquette. You got Villanova and DePaul. That's basically a bye for Villanova.
Yeah, it is a bye, but I don't trust Villanova past that point.
That's the thing. I don't trust Villanova. They're going to beat DePaul. I don't trust Kyle Neptune. I think we said that all last year too. They're 0-2 against Marquette, and they played them close. And you can get Nova at about 20-1 to win the tournament. They can beat Marquette. That's possible. I just would rather not take my chance with Kyle Neptune. So that leaves the 7 seed, the Providence Friars, who I found at 70-1. Again, Providence is not going to win the Big East. That's just not going to happen. But they play Georgetown in the 7-10 matchup. They can beat Georgetown. They just did it last week. Then they will play Creighton, the 2 seed. Providence, I think, can beat Creighton. They did it this year already. They did it in Providence. And then they went to Creighton. They lost by 9 in a game where Creighton shot the lights out. We've seen Creighton do that before. And that's why Providence lost that game. Projected spread probably around Creighton -6 or -7. But the point of it was Providence at 70-1. I think they're good enough that they're going to beat Georgetown. They'll be in the quarterfinals against Creighton, where we've seen crazier things happen. Providence can win that game, and it's an easy hedge spot on a Providence 70-1 ticket. It just wouldn't surprise me. You know, the Big East is so great because it's so visually appealing, the court and Fox and everything like that. I can just see it in my head, Providence, Creighton, Gus Johnson's on the call, and it's tied with 3 minutes left. Like, it makes total sense. That's my reasoning for that. I think Providence 70-1. They're not going to win the Big East. This is UConn, because UConn actually like gives a shit too about winning this thing. But Providence at 70-1, they can beat Creighton in the quarterfinals. They can go to the semifinals. You can hedge. My only worry would be they run a lot through Devin Carter and Josh Oduro, who are great players, but to win 4 games in 4 nights would be crazy with the amount of usage rate that Devin Carter has, who's a great player. But I think it's a great hedge spot, so I took the Friars 70-1.
Yeah, Providence is dead to me. I remember the morning that they were playing Ed Cooley at home for the first time since he came back, and I just bet so much money on them, and they were actually killing him for a little bit, and then of course they let him come back. Didn't cover. I was very upset. The students were all just raucously drunk outside of the dunk, and they didn't cover. That was the last time I believed in crowd magic, at least for this year. But you know, PC is not a bad pick. Have you thought about Marquette in the sense that they do have 6 defenders on the court?
Well, and the other thing about Marquette is Cam Jones has looked really good for them. I think he's going to be really good for them, and they're going to be fine without Kolek.
Shaka Smart defending the corners.
I like Marquette, and I like Shaka Smart with his defensive shuffles and the things that he does. They I just can't consider them at even they're 5-1 or something like that without Kolek. I can't do
It's
it.
not that great of value at all.
No.
I look at this. The only two teams that I mean, honestly, the bottom three seeds, I don't see how they have any bit of a chance. Butler, no thanks. I think PC in terms of like best value, I think that's the best spot you're getting. I trust them more than Villanova at this point.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
only factor with Villanova is they do have to win. Like they have to win probably two of these games, maybe three, depending on how some other stuff shakes out. So
Yeah, and Villanova, I mean, they had their chance. They got blown up by I think it was Seton Hall at the weekend,
they did.
making it very easy for the committee to leave them out. So obviously, can they if they can beat DePaul and Marquette, they're probably back in. I think another really interesting, like if you look at the quarterfinals, UConn's going to get Butler or Xavier, which could be, I guess, a little interesting. UConn will blow them out, whatever. Seton Hall and St. John's in the 4-5 matchup. Seton Hall's 2-0 against St. John's this year, and it's if Rick Pitino, if you're going to move that program forward, like you cannot lose to Seton Hall 3 times in a row, and they're at home, MSG, the whole thing, and Creighton Providence is a great game. Providence Georgetown, the Ed Cooley Bowl in the first round. So the storylines are there. The Big East is going to be a lot of fun. I love watching it so much. It's such a great tournament. And hey, take Providence 70-1. It'll give you something to root for on the first day on that
There you
Wednesday.
go. I think rooting interest. I want Villanova to lose because I need Robbie Avila in the tournament, and I want St. John's to win. I want to see Rick Pitino back on the dance.
Yeah,
especially after he called his team just dog shit pretty much a couple weeks ago.
and they responded well. Maybe they're still motivated.
Maybe they are.
I don't think they've lost since he did that, or they've lost one game. They've looked really good. You can't lose to Seton Hall 3 times, Rick. You can't do it. So
No, and shout out to Sheem Holloway over at Seton Hall too, man. He's doing a heck of a job. He's proven that run of St. Peter's wasn't a fluke. But I think that's about all I got. If you want to pick winners, I'm going to be a square for the third time in a row. I'm picking UConn. I'm sorry. It's tough. That's how it goes. I will say, if I was a betting man, I wouldn't put my money on UConn. I would probably go with Creighton because I think they're starting to kind of round into form. I like Greg McDermott. I trust Greg McDermott. I picked them to make a deep run of the tournament last year. It didn't really happen for them. But I like Creighton. I always like Creighton this time of year. So, you know what? I'll make Creighton my pick about that.
That could be good. I think Creighton's really good, and Creighton beating Providence, it wouldn't surprise me whatsoever because Creighton's a really good team. UConn, it's looking like -135. I just don't ever want to lay minus. If UConn
you're throwing away money, put minus odds in a conference.
Yeah, you're better off just bet them in the championship when they get there. I mean, at that point, if UConn was even money, I'd be all over. I would take UConn even money, but gosh, it's hard not to take UConn. I would say it sucks to say UConn over Creighton in the championship. Just say chalk. I'm just going to do that anyway. We're just going to take Creighton.
Yeah, I don't know. This might be a chalky tournament. I don't know. Every time we think that, it never happens, though.
Exactly.
We appreciate y'all hopping on with us, though. The March to March continues. We are going to do the Big Ten. We still have the SEC and the Pac-12. I got some spicy picks for the Pac-12, so I'm excited to talk about that one. But appreciate y'all tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.